Hello, everyone. All of our admitted students joining us today. My name is Christy Friedrichsen. I'm one of our admissions counselors here at Binghamton. And we're all really happy that you decided to join us today to celebrate your admission. And we're going to have some really fun events happening and give you some more information about Binghamton as well. I am joined today by some amazing people. We've got some of our tour guides and also some of our admissions staff. And I'll let our admissions staff first introduce themselves.
Hi there, I'm Marlo Cohen. I'm the Long Island Admissions Counselor. I also went to Binghamton, so I'm an alumni, and I have a child there as well. So I can answer lots of different questions, and we're so happy to have you here today.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations. My name is Justin Brim. I'm one of the admissions counselors as well. Been working at Binghamton for 5 years. Welcome.
And hi, everyone. My name is David Babb. I am the New Jersey admission officer, and congratulations on your acceptance.
Okay, can my tour guide start? Sam, do you want to start?
Sounds good. Hi guys, my name is Sam. I am one of the tour guide supervisors in the program. I'm from Whitney Point, which is right around Binghamton. I am a senior, double majoring in English and theater with minors in education and cinema. And when I'm not helping out with the tour guide program, you can find me student directing in our theater department.
I'll go next. Hi, everyone. Congratulations. My name is Kelsey. I am a junior at Binghamton. I am from Port Washington, New York. I am a double major in political science and theater on the pre-law track. And some of the things I do on campus is I help with the tour guide program, and I also perform in the main stage productions with our theater department on campus.
I'll go next. Hi guys, my name is Megan. I'm originally from Syracuse, New York. I'm a sophomore. I'm majoring in nursing, and when I'm not helping with tour guide stuff, I work with the Red Cross Association on campus.
All right, good afternoon, guys. My name's Chris. I'm a sophomore, also from Syracuse, New York, majoring in accounting with a concentration in finance. And when I'm not giving tours, I am very involved in the Binghamton Investment Fund, which is a student-run portfolio.
So I don't know if any of you can relate, but I really wasn't too involved in my college process. I was a little nervous. I was like, this is a change that I'm not really sure I want. So I had the mother that every single day was like, do your college applications, do your college applications. So those got done and all of yours got done. So congratulations on that. That's a really big accomplishment. So anyway, so I went to Binghamton for their Accepted Students Day, which is like their open house. And actually when we walked into the huge event center, the president of the entire university, Harvey Stanger, came and he greeted my family and was super warm and friendly, and he really listened to me and heard what I had to say. He talked to me for about 3 minutes and I went through the whole day. I had an amazing day, and actually on our way out, Harvey Stanger came up to me and said, "Hey Kelsey, how was your day? I'm so happy that you joined us," and he remembered my name, which was really, really cool. And it just showed me that the staff here and the faculty is really, really dedicated to our students, and you will find that. And that was a great first impression that I had, and I haven't found anything less since.
I'll go next. I chose Binghamton, kind of a similar reason, but actually pretty different, I guess. My mom was also all over me, like, do your college applications, and I was always like, okay, like, I'll get them done. I don't really know where I want to go, but I didn't really want to be close to home. I'm only about an hour and a half north of Binghamton, so I was kind of skeptical on my first tour, but I ended up going and touring it and lately fell in love with everything about the campus. Unfortunately, you guys can't be on campus today or anytime soon, but it is like an amazing campus. I knew right when I stepped on it that I would be getting the best like education for the best value with also the best balance of student life. Binghamton offers so much for us to do on a daily basis, and I just really felt that from like being on the campus and talking to the tour guides, talking to the students, and just walking around, that I knew I would have the perfect balance between academics and having a student life, which is awesome.
Cool. So I chose Binghamton for primarily 2 reasons. The first was the academic rigor that it provides, and the second was the value of going to a SUNY school. So when I came and was looking at colleges, I knew I wanted a school that was going to kind of challenge me and give me the opportunities to grow. So when I came to Binghamton and I toured around, I talked with the dean of the business school and I talked with a lot of students. And what they showed me is that students here are really intellectually curious. They're very ambitious, going after tons of different opportunities. And being a mid to large size school, there's no shortage of opportunities here at Binghamton. So that really attracted me to the school, and coming here has really only confirmed it. You know, the students are super involved, you know, myself included, and I think you see that in almost any tour guide here, is that there's a lot of different opportunities. So that was the first thing. And the second thing that drew me to Binghamton was the value. So, you know, being a SUNY school, you get great education at a comparatively cheaper cost than what you might get at a lot of other schools. So really that kind of combination of the academic rigor and the value provided by Binghamton was what brought me here.
All right, so I have a question for Kelsey, actually. Somebody wants to know what has been your experience with the pre-law track at Bing and how, and that's a separate one about theater, so we'll get to that. You can answer the first one with the pre-law track.
Sure. We have actually 2 in the Harper College tracks that you can do that are not majors. So that is the pre-health or pre-med track and the pre-law track. I'm on the pre-law track. The great thing about law school is that you don't have to be any particular major, and also with med school as well. So the way that we help our students here get to the next step, if that's what they want to do, is we have them major in something that is not necessarily has anything to do with law school. You know, I'm a theater major. I can go to law school with a theater major. But they have a team of counselors that are just for admissions into law school, admissions into med school. So that is the way that they help you with that. We also have a couple of pre-law associations on campus that you can join that will help you with LSAT prep. And all those kind of things. So it's really cool because you don't have to necessarily have that as your whole life if you're on the pre-law track, but you have counselors there that are here to help you, that are here, they know how to get you into law school, and they know what you need to do. So that, my experience has been really positive. I'm actually starting to study for my LSATs right now, so fingers crossed for me. And yeah, so I would say really, really positive experience with that.
Wonderful. And there's a second part to the question, which I'll let you answer. I could answer it as well. How friendly is the theater program to a student with literally no theater experience?
Super friendly. Actually, we have a really, really very involved arts kind of campus. We have tons of student-run things that you can do, anywhere from playing in the orchestra to doing theater to singing in a cappella, and anything that you want to do on campus is open to anybody. You don't have to have any background in anything to do anything that has to do with the arts on campus.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, I have a question for Megan. Somebody says, I've been accepted into a few BSN programs and would like to know why you chose Binghamton's program over any others you might have been accepted to.
That is a great question. I was obviously in the same boat a couple years ago. I chose Decker over any other BSN program I was accepted to for a few reasons. One of the first reasons being that we have a mostly direct entry program. I really love that about Binghamton because I knew from the start that I was going to be a student in the Decker School of Nursing, and that was something that I thought was really important to me. Is like I didn't want to have to like reapply later and like worry about getting into nursing school in like another couple of years. I just wanted to know from the beginning. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason is how like genuinely amazing our Decker School of Nursing is. It's a great time to be interested in nursing, and there's like so much going on with it right now, and Decker is expanding. We're making a whole new campus about 5 minutes off campus, which is going to be really, really great. Completely new, completely high tech. I chose Decker again for the whole life of Binghamton as well. Like I loved Binghamton and the campus, and I just knew that Decker again with Binghamton was going to be the perfect fit for me. Against other BSN programs, I knew like how honestly rigorous and prepared I would be coming out of the Decker program.
Awesome. I have a more general question. This can be for whoever wants to answer it. Maybe Chris, if you want to, whoever wants to, but 2 questions that are very similar. What resources are available to students who are undecided, and for undecided students, what does the school do to help these students pick a major?
What actually really helped me most with my being undecided and not totally sure what I wanted to do was that we have general education requirements when you come into the school, which include everything from math, science, fine arts credit, a gym credit, English, history, and all that stuff. So the university really wants you to get a very well-rounded education, not just be a bio major or just be a political science major. And in taking those classes, I was actually able to find majors that really sat well with me, take classes in them. So I would say that the general education requirements, that's what you can start doing. As soon as you get to Binghamton on campus, you could take a course in this and a course in that, and then that's how you can find kind of professors that work with you, majors that work with you, and everything like that.
Wonderful. Somebody said that they missed hearing what our majors were, so they just want us to run through those again. I am studying English and theater with minors in education and cinema. Who's next?
I am a political science and theater major on the pre-law track.
I am a nursing major.
And I'm an accounting major with a concentration in finance.
Wonderful. All right. Has anybody studied abroad? Somebody wants to know. Anybody in this?
I have. I studied abroad.
Wonderful.
Do you want me to talk about it a little bit?
Sure, yeah, somebody's curious.
Okay. So when I was a freshman, I came in like really, really excited about study abroad because I knew that Binghamton had a bunch of programs for it. But I knew with my major that it was uncommon and that it, like most people don't really get to study abroad with nursing. So I was determined to like fit it into my schedule. I went to the study abroad office my first semester freshman year, and I was like, "Hi, I'm really excited. I really, really want to study abroad." And they were like, "Awesome." But I was like, "I don't know if I can with my major." So I literally had an hour-and-a-half conversation with the study abroad advisor, and she was so helpful and was like basically like laying out the next 4 years for me and how I could fit it into my schedule, how I can make my classes work abroad, how I could get them to basically outline with my degree plan. I could have studied abroad this spring semester, like I would have been abroad now, but I ended up studying abroad last summer instead. One of the great things about our programs is that they're offered all the semesters, so fall semester, spring semester, summer, and winter. And then they range in time periods as well. So obviously you could go abroad for a whole semester, but I went abroad for about 10 weeks. I spent 10 weeks in a very small town in North Scotland, about in the Highlands. I wanted to do a bunch of hiking. So that was something that was really important to me that I got to do just because I had like this super long conversation with this advisor who was so helpful. One of the great things about being a SUNY school as well is that I got to go through SUNY Broadcourts program because I had a super specific location in mind in super north in Scotland. So I just sat down with her and figured that out and found the location in the summer program. So it was really, really easy for me to do. And it was an amazing experience. If anybody on this is thinking about studying abroad, there's lots of scholarship opportunities you can get. Go get involved. Binghamton's a great place for that. They were, like I said before, incredibly helpful, and I can't recommend it enough.
Wonderful. The next question deals with the registration process for freshmen. Does anybody want to talk a little about that?
Sure. I can. Okay, so the way that it works is that you get, once you come to orientation, you get a time slot that will help you pick out your classes, and there are also orientation guides to help you pick your classes and admissions counselors on hand. And the way it works is you just get a time slot and you log on at your time slot and you're able to put all the classes that you want in your registration cart. Typical freshman schedule looks probably 3 to 4 courses, about 12 to 16 credits. Depending on what you want to take and if your courses are more rigorous versus, you know, all that stuff. So you would decide what was right for you. And you put all these courses in your cart, and once you hit register, you are registered for that. It's all online. And for freshmen, it is randomized. So you will get spots in all these classes because they do hold spots for freshmen. And then once you get to Binghamton, in your next semesters, it goes by course credit. However, I had never had any issues getting into any courses that I wanted to take. And that's pretty much typical with everybody else.
Wonderful. We have a lot of questions dealing with housing, asking if anybody wants to talk about where they lived freshman year, if it was a difficult process finding your roommate, scary, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll take that. So I think one of the best things we do about housing is a roommate matching system. So that's actually what my roommate and I did. We lived in our Dickinson community our first year, and I would really highly suggest that you go online and check out our detailed models of rooms in each community to kind of figure out what you like. But my roommate and I, we found each other through the roommate matching portal that we have here. And in essence, what it is you fill out what's like a Facebook profile of your interests, what time you like to go to bed, do you want to keep the room dirty or clean, what you're looking for in a roommate, and stuff like that. And the system will go and match you with a lot of people who are similar to you. And then from there, you can go and view their profiles and reach out to them saying, hey, I see, you have a very similar profile. Do you want a room together next year? And if they do, boom, you found yourself a roommate. So I did that with my roommate freshman year, and we're still living together. It worked out great, and it kind of helps you avoid a lot of that random roommate horror stories that you might hear from a lot of other schools. But that being said, housing at Binghamton is really great because you get a lot of autonomy in choosing not just your roommate, but where you're living, the room style. We have a bunch of different room styles, building styles. Definitely go and check them out on our website. But you get to choose up to like the building you live in, the floor you want to live in, the room, even down to the individual bed. So it really gives you a lot of autonomy, which is, I think, something really great about Binghamton.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. I have a question from somebody. They want to know, if you aren't a music major or minor, is it still possible to join an orchestra as a musician? This also kind of bounces off theater as well. Kelsey, would you like to answer this?
Sure. Yes. So we have tons of different clubs that you can do that have to do with music. And the really great thing about that is that they can be very low commitment. If you wanted to just go and play your instrument for an hour, you're also more than welcome to do that. We also have faculty run orchestras, theater performances and stuff. And that's really cool because you can get course credit for that and you do not have to be a major for anything like that. So you can you can audition for the shows, you can audition for the symphony orchestra, and they offer you course credit as well, and you do not have to be a major.
Wonderful. I'm having quite a bit of questions about internships. Has anybody been involved in any internships?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So last year, after freshman year, I interned with a local politician in Syracuse who was running for elected office, and I was doing finance work for him. And that was an opportunity that I got through the university's Fleischman Center, which is kind of the career development center that's available to all students at Binghamton University. So they have kind of in-person staff consultations where you can go and talk to them about finding an internship or a job. And they also have a pretty built-out online database of job opportunities, a lot of which are posted just for Binghamton students. So last summer I went on there and I found this great opportunity near to my hometown that was something I was interested in. And even as a freshman, I was able to get that opportunity. And this year, again, I used the Fleischman Center's resources to get another internship after my sophomore year, doing an accounting program with a local firm in Syracuse as well. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities for that. And I would say the vast majority of students here do get internships during their time.
Awesome. Thank you. I have another question. Anybody can take this one. Do you find that there is enough to do in the city of Binghamton, and do you ever find the city boring?
I can take that. I honestly don't find the city boring. That's a good question. I think it's important to think about that when you're thinking about applying to colleges and where you want to go. I don't think that it would be boring at all. Binghamton is one of mid-sized cities, you say, in the state of New York. You could call it upstate if you wanted to, if you're from like Long Island or the city. That's a huge debate we always have on campus. I love the food in Binghamton. I'm a huge foodie and I've never ever been disappointed by the food that we have. One of my favorite restaurants, I'm going to shout it out, is Garage. They have this amazing burrito that has fried avocado in it. You can put the Garage fries right into it. That's one of my favorite things about Binghamton is the food. There's always festivals going on. There's one in the fall called Luma, which brings literally thousands of people right to campus, or not to campus, to the city. It's really, really cool. They basically turn all the buildings into like a massive light show, and they have like these huge projectors, and they have literally like 50-foot tall buildings like projected with lights all over them with like these shows, like dancing. It's really, really fun. That was one of my favorite things to do in Binghamton, but there's always stuff going on. There's the Speedy Chicken Festival. There's a chocolate festival. There's like always things happening in the city. So yeah, I don't think it's boring at all. I think there's almost always stuff going on.
I would definitely agree with that. We have another question about class sizes. Somebody visited during the summer and they weren't able to see the classes in person, but they're interested about how the class sizes work.
Yeah, so that's obviously, it's going to depend a lot on like what classes you're taking. So the introductory level classes, your 100 level classes that you might be taking freshman year, those are going to kind of be on the larger side because almost every student in the school or in your major is taking those classes. So those might be maybe closer to 200 people, maybe a little less depending on the size. And then as you, kind of advance through your classes, you're going to be taking a lot more individualized courses that are more kind of in an intimate setting. Those might be, closer to 20 students per class. And then even in those larger classes, one of the things to keep in mind is that those are the lecture portions that are larger. But we also have like discussion sections, which are kind of like breakout group classes that are typically like 15 to 20 people. And you get to talk with the professor or the TA, the teacher's assistant, during those, kind of more smaller class sections. So there's a lot of resources between the discussion sections as well as office hours where you can go and talk to professors one-on-one, where you can really kind of get to know the course content, even if the class is large. But it really hasn't been an inhibitor for me.
Wonderful. The next question actually is for you, Chris, as well. Somebody says they have been accepted at a school that is solely for business. So what is the advantage of a business school versus a large campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a large campus has a lot to offer in the way of diversity, and not just in the people that are there, but in the programs offered. So one of the things that I see kind of along a lot of my peers is that they'll come in saying, I want to do business, this is something I'm super interested in. and then they'll find another interest outside of business that they didn't realize they had before coming in. So coming to, Binghamton or a school of this size offers you the opportunity to get involved outside of your major. So you're not just siloed into being 100% business. I've had people who take on like computer science minors if they're an accounting major or something like that. So that's one opportunity that you wouldn't have if you went to an all business school. And then you also get to interact with a lot of different people. So, interacting with people who, don't think just about business is really something that's, been a really formative experience for me. And it kind of helps widen your point of view as well. So I think there's a lot of advantages in looking a little more broadly at schools.
We're going to switch gears to a little more kind of fun game trivia piece now. Thanks to all of our tour guides for giving their awesome answers. So we're going to start with our trivia, our polls. So if you should definitely play along and put in your best guess answer. So the tour guides and I are going to ask you some Binghamton questions. All right, so let's start the first one here. Okay, so everyone should see our first question. What is Binghamton University's mascot? Is it Blitz the Bearcat, Barney the Bearcat, Baxter the Bearcat, or Bobby the Bearcat? If you visited campus, you would definitely see our Bearcat, our mascot. Definitely a cardboard cutout. You might have seen him in the flesh. So lock in those answers. That was definitely more than 10 seconds. So let's end our polling now. And it looks like we had 71% of students put in Baxter the Bearcat, and that is the correct answer. Awesome. Good job. Oh, here, now you can see the results. Perfect. Awesome. So I'm going to launch our second question. And why don't you ask our students the question, Megan?
Okay, the second question is how tall is the clock tower in feet? Is it 200 feet, 98.15 feet, 100 feet, or 108.25 feet?
Okay, there we go. And Megan, why don't you tell us the results?
Okay, about 74% of you actually answered correctly. The answer is 108.25 feet. Wow, good job.
Good job, everybody. Now, if Kelsey can ask the third question, please.
Sure. Okay, this is question 3. How many acres are in our nature preserve? 200 acres, 182 acres, 18 acres, or 115 acres?
Okay, your time starts now.
Oh, wow. Actually, 76% of you guessed the correct answer, which is 182 acres. And just for those of you who don't know, we have a 182-acre nature preserve on the edge of our campus, which is really cool. It has a lake, lots of wildlife, and about 10 miles of hiking and biking trails. It's really cool. Students do homework up there. There's Wi-Fi all throughout there, so that's a really cool resource that we have on campus.
For sure. Thank you, Kelsey. All right, Sam, if you could do the next one for me.
Sounds great. All right, everybody. Who is the president of Binghamton University? Is it Harvey Stanger, Catherine Conway Turner, Elizabeth Chilton, or Javidad Rodriguez?
All right, time starts now. How they do?
Wow, 91%. Awesome. Yes, it is Harvey Stanger.
Sure is. Elizabeth Chilton is actually the dean of our Harper College. I thought maybe some of you might have heard her name before, so threw her in there for you. All right. So our fifth question, Chris, if you can take that one away.
Mm-hmm. So which famous actor attended Binghamton University? Is it Alec Baldwin, Stephanie Courtney, Peter Dinklage, or Ed Helms?
Chris, how did they do?
Let's see. So, okay. Well, 36% of you answered correctly with Stephanie Courtney, who's Flo from the Progressive commercials.
Very good. Some of you definitely know the other ones. Alec Baldwin is actually the brother of Billy Baldwin, who attended Binghamton. Peter Dinklage went to Bennington University in Vermont, if you were curious. And Ed Helms went to Cornell. So just some fun facts there. Okay, so I'll take the next one. Okay, so some of you may already know, one of our professors, Stanley Whittingham, won the Nobel Prize in 2019 for chemistry. What did he help to invent? 81% of you got the correct answer. Stanley Whittingham co-invented the lithium-ion battery, and he still has an office on our campus today, and he loves working with students and collaborating with them on a bunch of different research projects. One of the reasons he actually came to campus was to work with students, so good job, everybody. Okay, Megan, if you can handle the next one for me.
Of course. Question 7 is, which food is the city of Binghamton known for? The soft pretzel, curly fries, salt potatoes, or the speedy sandwich? You guys have 10 seconds.
How'd they do?
Okay, about 73% of you guys answered correctly. The speedy sandwich is what the city of Binghamton is known for. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but we'll give it to you guys.
And what is your favorite speedy sandwich, Megan?
The chicken speedy, obviously.
Very good. And for those of you who might be curious, I don't know about the first two, but the salt potatoes are actually, I think, our claim to fame in Syracuse, which is cool. Okay. So for the 8th question, Kelsey.
Okay, what percentage of Binghamton students study abroad? 25%, 13%, 52%, or 60%?
How'd they do?
Well, the right answer was 25%, which is 28% of people guessed that correctly. So yeah, 25% of our students study abroad.
Awesome. And there's a lot of opportunities for them to do that. We'll talk about that a little bit later in my session. Thanks so much. Okay. Sam, question 9.
All right, everybody. Who is our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences named after? Is it A, William and Rebecca Decker, B, Cecilia Decker, C, G. Clifford and Florence B. Decker, or D, Jack Decker?
How'd they do, Sam?
They did wonderful on that one. I thought that was going to be a tricky one. 59% of you got the right answer, which was 3, G. Clifford and Florence B. Decker.
Yes, and G. Clifford was a local dentist, and Florence B. Decker, it was his wife. So that is what our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences is named for. Okay, Chris.
So we have, how many undergraduate students are enrolled at Binghamton University? Are there 3,747, 14,021, 17,768, or 19,231? 5.
And that is time.
So wow, the majority of you did answer correctly at 14,021 students.
Great job, everybody. You all did amazing. I'm going to believe that none of you used your phones, or maybe you didn't phone a friend, like maybe alumni parents or siblings. But either way, great job. And we all hope that you learned something about Binghamton. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'll be sharing my screen so you can see our presentation. Okay. So once this boots up, you should be able to see our presentation. All right, so of course, the reason why you are logging in today is to celebrate your admission with all of us, and we're really happy that you are doing so. We know it's kind of a crazy time, and we're really sad that you are not able to join us on campus, but we still wanted to take this time to connect with you and celebrate your admission and tell you a little bit more. So that's why we're here. And as you probably know, Binghamton is a really selective university. We did have a question about what makes us the #1 SUNY institution. And there's a lot of reasons for that. The selectivity of our campus, the size of our classes, which our tour guides talked about, the outcome of our graduates, which we'll touch on, as well as a lot of other things that hopefully you figured out from our tour guides or maybe on our tour as well that you might have come to campus. But we have received about, well, over 43,000 applications in the last couple of years, and this year was no exception. A lot of applications came in with some really talented folks like yourselves, so you should be really proud. All right, So here at Binghamton, you're going to be learning with the best and learning from the best here. Lots of different students, some of whom you've already met either on campus or today, a lot of our alumni and current students. We have a lot of really great students working on some really cool initiatives and research projects and things like that. I know one of our student ambassadors, she's working on research with Tattoo Ink. She and her professor is working to figure out, and a cohort of her peers, they're working to figure out what is in tattoo ink, and the more they know, they can kind of get it regulated and also be able to remove the ink as well. So our students are working with their professors and groups of their peers to work on real world problems. And we're also learning from the best professors. We have some really great professors on our campus. All of them are, top leaders in their field. We are a research institution, which you may already know. So they're all doing their research, which is great, including, like we already talked about, Stanley Whittingham. And like I mentioned, he definitely loves to collaborate with students on research. He's written over 200 academic papers, many of them with students. And he chose to come to Binghamton because it was big enough to have many different people and ideas, but small enough to actually be able to collaborate with students. And you're going to get those opportunities to collaborate with your peers and other professors when you're a student here at Binghamton. All right, so there's a lot of different outcomes of our graduates. Like I mentioned, we have some really well-known alumni. We have alumni from all over the world doing all kinds of different things. Some of the things, including being successful business leaders, like Jennifer. She is the CFO for the Golden State Warriors, and she actually attended Binghamton with her major in accounting. And she's also from the metro area in New York, and she emigrated from the Philippines and was able to be a very successful business leader in the States. Or you can definitely maybe follow a path like Natalie here, helping families. She's now an attorney, and a CEO. Her major was philosophy, politics, and law, and she really hopes to make a difference in people and families' lives in all kinds of different ways. Or maybe you're more following the path kind of on a medical path, or maybe even a pre-law. Some of you may know that we do have the pre-law and the pre-medical tracks, and you can be a lot like Adam Fox. He is the section chief of trauma at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. So you can definitely work with people here at Binghamton to make sure that you are going to be successful going on to medical school or law school. Okay. So we have a lot of alumni up here. We talked a lot about our graduates and really what they're doing now. We have all kinds of different people and professionals to help you make sure you're getting the experience you need to figure out first what it is you want to do in your career and how you can do that. We have our Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development. They work with many of our alumni to bring them all back to campus, especially in our job and internship fairs, one-on-one talks, small groups talks, as well as some different interviews, one-on-one virtual, which we're all going to be pros at now, really giving you the opportunity to get to know what kind of careers are out there based on your major and who you can work with. This gives you the opportunity to really connect with those people. Networking, you'll find, is a really important step about getting career ready. All right, so the Binghamton Impact. Here at Binghamton, we have all kinds of different opportunities for you to get that experience and really kind of propel you out into your life after Binghamton in your career. There are 4 different ways we really kind of lean into to make this possible for our students, including internships. I know my tour guides talked a lot about their internship opportunities. Our Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development, like I mentioned, is a really good resource to figure out what kind of internships are available either in your area at home or on our campus or in our own area, or maybe even abroad. There's so many opportunities for those to make sure you're getting that experience that you think you want from a career, or maybe one that you had no idea was the right fit for you. We have 4 credit internships as well as some pay internships as well. Our service learning, we have students out in the field, quite literally sometimes. Many of our students are in hospitals and schools, and they're giving back while getting that very valuable experience to, again, really solidify what is important to them and what they want out of their career. So study abroad, I know we talked about this a little bit. We have a lot of different opportunities for study abroad. We have about 50 of our own programs here at Binghamton, but because we are in the SUNY system, the State University of New York system, we have over 1,000 different options to offer students to study abroad. Study abroad, I think most of what students think are taking general education classes, really focusing on your academics, but in a different place. So that's definitely an opportunity, but we do have internships as well as researching, maybe just exploring lots of different opportunities. You could go for a whole year, a whole semester, maybe for just a couple weeks in the summer, or a couple weeks in the winter as well. So we have a whole office dedicated with professionals to help you figure out what kind of opportunity you want out of your study abroad. And research, we've talked a little bit about research already. We have a lot of different opportunities for you to do that. We do have our undergraduate research center. So this is a space on campus you can go to talk to professionals to see the opportunities already listed where they want undergraduate researchers to help them out. So definitely good resource. We also have our professors. Like we mentioned, they're all doing research in their field and you're learning from them. So there's no better way to get to know them during office hours, figure out what they're actually doing, and you know, make those connections and maybe get involved in labs that way. Definitely a popular way to do that. And we do have some of our research programs for first-year students. Many of you have asked about our first-year research immersion program, as well as our SOURCE project. If you have been invited to those, we're going to have sessions later. If you haven't been invited, the invitations are still ongoing, so you can definitely look out for those. These are first-year research programs that you'll come in and you'll work with a research educator and a cohort of your peers in a couple different areas. For the first-year research immersion program, it's definitely STEM-based. You're working on things like ecological genetics and clean energy. For SOURCE project, you're more on the humanities side and you're working on things like human rights and thinking through painting. So some really nice opportunities to do research already built in. So yeah, if you have more questions, definitely let us know about those. Okay, so of course, the reason why you're going to school is academics, right? Figuring out kind of what it is you want to do after college kind of goes what we talked about, everything beforehand, making those connections and having those experiences. But here at Binghamton, you're going to have an opportunity to learn from, like I said, some of the best researchers and educators in their field. Your professors definitely want to see you succeed, both inside the classroom and outside of the classroom. We have a lot of hands-on opportunities for students in their classes, and you're going to be well-rounded no matter what major you're in, working on those core major classes, but you'll also have your general education credits as well. Some a little more than others, especially in our Harper College of Arts and Sciences. I know in the questions I saw a lot of people asking about, you know, I'm undeclared, I don't know what to do. Part of our academics at Harper is really making sure you have an opportunity to take classes that you're interested in while figuring out what it is you want to do as far as a major, and you're still completing that degree. So you're in good hands no matter what program you're in, for sure. All right. So I know my tour guides talked a little bit about housing and about community on campus as well as off campus. I'll touch on this a little bit more. You may already know about our housing residential communities. These are a little bit different than other college campuses. All of these residential communities have about 4 to 5 different buildings. Some are closer together, some are farther apart. They all have different styles, different personalities, different traditions. They're all located on different parts of campus. This really makes just for a really fun and unique living experience during your undergraduate career. You'll definitely get to live right next door to your friends, and you know, to people that you may not have considered friends once. You're going to make those connections, and you're going to have a really great time. I think that's what makes our community so special, is that while we are a bigger campus with that 14,000 or so undergraduates we talked about, so they're all on campus, but then when you go into your community, you only have a couple hundred students that you get to know really well in some cases. So it's a big school with that small community feel, for sure. Best of both worlds. All right. I know Megan and Kelsey, I think, had some really good things to say about our community. I know Megan mentioned the Luma Festival and all of the food festivals, also some of my favorite things in our community. We're known for a lot of different things, and I think our students love us for the variety that the downtown community really provides to them. We covered our food festivals, I think, our chicken wing festival in the fall, our macaroni and cheese festival in the spring. I didn't even know we had a chocolate festival. Now I need to seek that out. We also have walking trails in the community. We have our First Friday event, which is the first Friday of every month. We'll have, our community is wide open for students to enjoy, like restaurants like The Garage, also one of my favorites. Lost Dog, they'll have, you know, set menus and specials for our students to enjoy, and usually gallery openings and things like that. So it's a lot of fun during those events. We have the Binghamton Rumble Ponies baseball team, the Binghamton Devils hockey team. We are known as the Carousel Capital. Fun fact, we have about 6 carousels in our area, and they're all free for students to enjoy in the warmer months. So that's a lot of fun. We also have one of the oldest zoos in the world, the Ross Park Zoo. So there's a lot of educational, a lot of fun, a lot of historical things going on in our area. Definitely worth taking advantage of. All right. So student life, we have all kinds of things going on, some of which you may already know. I know there was a question about club activities as far as athletics and clubs in general. Outdoor pursuits was a question I saw. We have over 450 different student-run clubs and organizations, all kinds of things from, you know, your outdoor pursuits to the Paranormal Society, the student acting groups that I know Sam talked about. We have Hoop Troop and the Circus Club. We also have things like Relay for Life and UNICEF and March of Dimes, all kinds of different organizations that you can take a part in. We have 21 Division I sports. So if you are a Division I athlete, you'll definitely be participating in some of those. If you're not a Division I athlete, we do have a lot of club and intramural athletic opportunities as well. So if you want to continue your athletic pursuits and being competitive that way, you definitely can. And you can also find new sports too. So there's no shortage of opportunities for you to get involved. All right. So we have a very diverse, collaborative, supportive community and environment here. We have people from all over the world, both in your classrooms and teaching those classrooms. We have students from all 50 states and over 100 different countries. Many of them will think like you and talk like you for sure, but you're going to have other students who are able to kind of push the boundaries of your thought a little bit and really kind of give you that worldwide view without even leaving campus. You're going to be collaborative both with your peers and with your professors, and you'll find so many different supports on campus, from professionals to peers, making sure that you're successful in the classroom. All right, so our best value, some of you may have seen some of our accolades before, being the Public Ivy, the #1 public college in New York, and some of the Best Buy. And this definitely is the value, the price tag that you may be familiar with at this point. But it's not just the dollar signs that you may be familiar with, it's definitely everything that rolls into that word value. So some of the things we already talked about, including internships, study abroad, the connections that you're making with your peers and with your professors. It's definitely everything that rolls into that. Your different clubs and the people you meet during those, that all is the value of your education and of your 4 years here at Binghamton. All right. So you should all be very proud about being admitted to Binghamton. That's a really big accomplishment, and we really hope that you're able to join us here and that you feel a part of our Binghamton family. We've tried our best today to make sure to give you all kinds of information about Binghamton and answer your questions. I know my professional staff and my tour guides are busy answering those questions for you. I can see their concentration faces. So we hope that we've been able. We really appreciate you tuning in with us and being so flexible and understanding. And we're definitely thinking of you during these very interesting times. Thank you, everyone, for joining in.
Yeah, so I see a lot of you are asking about AP credits. And in my personal experience, Binghamton has been one of the more generous schools of accepting credits. So anything above a 3 on an AP exam will get you credit for that. And then they have similar structures for like dual enrollment classes and an IB diploma as well. The higher score you get, the more credit you're going to get. And those cover your introductory classes, like our Gen Eds, as we call them, which is kind of like general requirements that every student here has to take. So the more of those you take in high school, Binghamton will take that credit, and then it'll get you out of, say, like an introductory math or an English course or something like that. And compared to other schools, I think it's really important to ask the schools that you're applying to what credits they're going to take. Because like in my personal experience, I've had schools say that they're not going to take several of my classes, whereas Binghamton did. So definitely make sure you're interacting with the guidance to make sure that you get credit for all your hard work.
I'm going to go ahead and answer one real quick because I just saw somebody asked about vegetarian food on campus. I'm a vegetarian. I had no difficulties finding food on campus when I lived on campus freshman and sophomore year. My personal favorite place to go was CIW. They had a brand new vegan station and it was delicious, but I never had problems finding food on campus. You're actually able to pull up the menu and see everything that's available on campus throughout the day, and you know if it's gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, all that fun stuff. All right, I saw a bunch of questions as well on, did anybody see any specific questions anybody wants to answer as I'm looking through? Oh, FRI, does somebody want to talk a little about that maybe?
So FRI is a 3-semester program that students are invited to attend. You will come in and work for all of your first year and for 1 semester your sophomore year in one of 10 streams. Some of those streams are clean energy, ecological genetics, biofilms, environmental visualization, image and acoustic signals analysis design, and they all focus on a couple different things, but you'll be working with a research educator and a cohort of your peers to really focus on real-world problems and issues going on right now. You'll learn how to do research, how to present that research, and how to make connections to do research in the future. It's a really great opportunity to be able to come in as an undergrad and start from day 1 doing research in a specific research stream as well. You'll be taking 3 courses in those 3 semesters, 3 courses total. You'll earn credit in things like your public speaking, composition, and then your science laboratory. So it's not so much as extra work, but it's kind of work that is already built into your degree that will help to take care of some of those general education credits. It's pretty seamless. It's only available for students in Harper and in Watson. And like I said, it is an invitation-only program. We do have a link on our website that you can let us know that you are interested, and we'll take your application and your interest into consideration when picking the best fit students. Filling out that form is not required. It just allows us to see who might actually be interested, and those invitations are still forthcoming. So keep an eye on your email and your status checker. Email is really important right now because that's how we get in touch with you.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of questions about transportation on
That's
campus.
what I was just going to say.
Oh, wow, look at that. I can take it. So just a disclaimer, freshmen are not allowed to have cars on campus, but sophomore, junior, and senior, you are allowed to have cars on campus. We have tons of ways to get around on campus. You absolutely do not need a car. We have our blue bus system, which is actually student run, and driving a bus is the highest paid student job on campus. So if you can drive a bus, you are golden. We also have the city buses, so the Binghamton city buses that run all throughout the city of Binghamton. The blue buses go anywhere, as well as the city buses to Target, Walmart, off-campus student housing. So anything that you would need to get to, you can get to through the bus system, and that's free with the swipe of your ID card. We also have things like Uber, Lyft, and then we have the Binghamton bus station that the city bus takes you to, and that will take you with the Greyhound coach bus everywhere that you need to go, downstate, upstate, when you're going home.
Somebody was just wondering how the education program works for someone who wants to be a teacher but isn't majoring in education. So we don't actually have a major in education. We have a minor instead. And once you come here, you do have to apply for that minor because we have a lot of people that want to do it. But it's really easy to apply. You just have to fill out a form on why you want to have that minor and what you plan to do with it. There's only 4 classes that you need to take for that, 2 that are specific, and then you get to take 2 additional ones there's a lot of different options that you get to choose from for those. You also have some hours that you have to volunteer and help out, and that can be done in a variety of different ways. And then there are also different events that you have to attend. I believe it's 3 events that you have to attend. So the minor is quite easy to complete. The nice thing that I think about Binghamton is, because I do want to be a teacher, is that when you pick up that minor, you're majoring in what you want to teach. So you really are focusing on it. You're becoming master of that subject. So you go into when you go into grad school, ready to start learning how to teach, you know what you're talking about. You know you're a master of what it is that you want to teach. So I want to teach English and theater. So that's what I majored in.
I'm just seeing a lot of questions about professors and access to professors. I just want to touch on that really quick. It is really easy to access your professors at Binghamton. Every professor is required to have office hours at least twice a week, but usually they're going to do more than that. I have a professor, one of my favorite ones, taught chem to me my freshman year here at Binghamton. His name is Dr. Simon Tong. Because I'm a nursing student, we have kind of like a nursing specific chem section where there's only about 100 of us in the class. Basically, our other class that we were taking for that semester interfered with the time that he had his office hours for that class with all the other nursing students. So we told him, we were like, hey, for Dr. Tong, like we can't unfortunately make it to your office hours. And he completely rearranged his entire schedule to make sure that we had office hours that we could actually come to get the help that we needed. They're also available by appointment. So if you need help with something, if you have a question, if you need just like a general something to go with them to, you can go and you can make an appointment with them. They're always helpful, and they're always pretty much there for you to make sure that you're getting all the resources that you need and getting the help that you basically need to get, which is really cool.
Wonderful. I'm seeing also a lot of questions, which I know all the tour guides will be able to answer this one, asking about campus jobs. So just Chris, maybe do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So this is obviously all of our jobs being a tour guide here on campus, but beyond that, there's a lot of diversity in what you can do. Students work in, a ton of different areas, whether it be like peer advising or working in the dining halls. So there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved in campus jobs. I know a couple of my friends, for example, are refs at our East Gym for like intramural games. So that's a really great opportunity, say if you're interested in sports. So pretty much whatever your interest is, there's likely going to be a job for you here on campus. A lot of opportunity to get that federal work study in, if that's something that you qualify for. So definitely being a large institution, there's no shortage of jobs here for students. I'm seeing a lot about SOM, so I'm just going to kind of give a high-level overview of that. So for all your business majors who answered questions, this is for you. The way that our School of Management works here is there are 2 kind of majors, business administration and accounting. And beneath those, you can concentrate in any number of different areas. So those concentrations include things like finance, marketing, human resources, data analytics, consulting, entrepreneurship, stuff like that. So there's a ton of different kind of streams for you to get involved with. Even if you're not just interested in like just accounting, you can be like accounting and marketing or something like that. So it's really flexible. A lot of questions about why I chose SOM at Binghamton as opposed to other schools. And one of the things that drew me here was that I was accepted into the PwC Scholars Program, which is kind of like the equivalent of BU Scholars, but for School of Management students. That's a really unique opportunity, and it probably kind of mirrors BU Scholars a lot, and that it offers like networking opportunities, kind of another community within campus, and then some cool ways also to get involved, like volunteer experience and connections to people out in the industry. So that was really cool. But also one of the reasons that I really liked SOM was because they really have a very developed program. So there's such a diversity of majors and classes here. And then there's a lot of different extracurricular activities to get involved with if you're into business as well. Like, you know, we have our finance society, our investment fund that's run by students. We have a marketing society, and tons of different other clubs that kind of fit your interests. So that's kind of my high level overview to SOM. If you have any more specific questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A. I'll see if I can get to them.
I'm also seeing a lot of questions about roommates. People are a little nervous about going random with their roommates. Does anybody have any experience with that and want to talk a little bit about it?
I can do that.
Okay.
So freshman year, I lived in a suite of 6 girls. We lived in Mountain View community. I lived there this year as well as a sophomore. The best community on campus. I completely loved living there. I picked my roommate through the housing portal. So the same way that Chris described earlier, we like message each other on there after filling out the like survey. But then the other 4 people that we lived with were completely random. So that actually worked out pretty well for us specifically. It wasn't a problem. The 4 girls that we lived with ended up being our best friends. And then we ended up living with them again next year. So that can work for you if you want it to work. But there's also ways, like if it didn't work out, you could definitely work with your RA or resident assistant to get out of a random room setting. So yeah, it just kind of depends on your specific situation for that. Housing can be really stressful going in as a freshman. I completely remember being in that position. But the housing portal makes it really, really easy to kind of find those people and get your fit, which is great. If you have looking for like a specific living community that might work for you the best, my advice, pretty much all tour guides' advice is probably to go online and look at the tours for every community, look at the traditions for every community, and then try to pick maybe what one would work best for you.
I think we're seeing a lot of questions about Greek life. Somebody's going to jump in and talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, I can do that again. I'm in a sorority on campus. I'm a sister of Phi Sigma Sigma here at Binghamton. It's about 18 to 20% of the campus for Greek life. We have several different types of Greek life. There's multicultural Greek life. There's Panhellenic Greek life. There's lots of different options for you if that's something that you're interested in. If you're not interested in that, that's not for you. That's completely fine as well. It's just there for the students who want it and who choose to partake in it. We also have several professional Greek life organizations, like for people that are like pre-med, pre-law. There's a girls engineering sorority. There's lots of different options for that, which is really cool. But like I said, it's about 18 to 20% of the campus, and it's totally there for students who choose to partake, and for people who don't, that's completely fine as well.
Wonderful. I'm also seeing a lot of questions that people are curious about how difficult it is to do a dual degree or to do a double major or extra minors. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Sure, I can. I am a dual major. It definitely is very accessible for you to do at Binghamton. That is one thing that I have really enjoyed. I get to do a lot of things that I like in both of my majors. And something that's really cool is that my professors and my advising team will work with me to make sure that I'm always able to manage it and that I'm getting to the requirements right on time. As for dual degrees, I am not a dual degree. However, it definitely is possible. You would talk with advisors from both colleges that you would want to be a dual degree in, and they will help you to work with you to get that dual degree.
Wonderful. I'm seeing a lot of questions on here as well, just about specific clubs and specific majors and minors. Of course, we don't have time to answer every single one of those, so I highly recommend that you go onto our website and you can find, just type Binghamton University Martial Arts Club. I'm seeing pop up Arabic minor, and you'll be able to find maybe somebody to reach out to specifically contact them, maybe the president of the group or a professor for a specific department if you want to reach out to people more specifically for some of those questions. They wanted to know if anybody has any experience with or know anyone who has experience with foreign Binghamton.
Actually, I do, if you want me to talk.
Wonderful. Yeah, just talk a little bit about your experience.
Okay, I don't personally, but one of my very, very, very close friends, his name is Anthony. He is a Spanish major at Binghamton. He is looking forward to, in the future, basically becoming a Spanish teacher. He right now works with students in the local community at one of the local elementary schools. On Thursday mornings, he goes literally into the elementary school and works with all the students. It basically teaches them Spanish and works with them to get them kind of more involved, and they do a lot of fun activities. He's always running ideas by me and my friends, oh, do you think this would be fun to do with the students and stuff? So if you're looking to major or minor in any type of foreign language, whether it be Spanish, French, any one that you may choose that we offer at Binghamton. There's going to be lots of opportunities to kind of get involved. He's also in a really cool Spanish club where he goes on Thursday nights. Actually, I don't know why Thursday's such a big day for him. Anyway, he does a lot of different stuff with that, so that's really cool. There's lots of opportunities, that I've heard of through him that I haven't personally experienced, but I know that they are there, which is really fun.
Wonderful. Somebody asked, what's the school spirit like? Are sports events highly attended? Does somebody want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, of course. We have tons of school spirit here. We are very go Binghamton, go Bearcats. People attend lots of sporting events. They have huge events like basketball games and stuff where they give out a lot of free merch. And then we also have tons of student clubs that do things on campus like performances, or they host events in the Union, which is our like kind of center for student life and everything like that. So we have tons of school spirit on campus, and you will see every student on campus typically doesn't do just one thing. They do a lot of things. And so everybody feels that Binghamton pride that they're able to do the things that they want to do.
Wonderful. Does somebody want to talk a little bit about safety? I have a couple questions about that.
Yeah, for sure, I can take that. So at Binghamton, we really do pride ourselves on being kind of a safe campus, and that's facilitated through a lot of different things. One of the things is that we have a pretty robust blue light system, and those are a series of lights attached to telephone boxes that dial straight to our university police department, and those are scattered all across campus, and as you're walking you can see the next one from wherever you're standing. So the theory is that wherever you are on campus, you wouldn't be far from a line to the university police department. One of the really cool things that I like that Binghamton does to keep students safe is we have what we call a Safe Ride program, and that is basically an office that will pick up students in a staff vehicle and drive them to where they're going free of charge. So for example, if you're, say, walking back from the library late at night and you don't feel safe, you could call up this Safe Ride and they could drive you back to your dorm to ensure that you get there safely. So we also have health services on campus like our Harpers Ferry Ambulance Corps, which takes students to any one of the downtown hospitals. So that's actually run by students. If you're a medical student, you have the opportunity to get involved in that. Very cool opportunity. And we also have a health center on campus dedicated to making sure our students are well. So there's a lot of different facets that come together to make sure our population is safe and healthy.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm also seeing a question about what's nightlife like at Binghamton. I know we just had a huge remodel in our underground, so does somebody want to talk about that?
So really cool space in our Union undergrounds. There's bowling alleys, ping pong tables, billiards tables, and it's a really cool remodeled place to just hang out with your friends. So like I said, we have a bowling alley that's free for students to use that I've used plenty of times with my friends. There's also like an underground cafe and movie theater that the university uses to put on different events for students. Like every Friday and Saturday night, they'll be playing a free movie there for students to go and see. So that's a really popular thing. We also host what we call Late Night Binghamton, and that's a different kind of small festival that the university puts on in that space every Saturday night. And it kind of has a different theme every week. So like one of the ones that I went to was a casino night where they brought in a bunch of different gambling tables like poker and craps and roulette, and students could go for free and play to win real prizes like a small flat screen TV and an Amazon Echo and stuff like that. So the university is constantly doing stuff to make sure students have a fun way to de-stress kind of on the weekend and nights.
Wonderful. I saw this question a little earlier. I can't find it now, but somebody wanted to know what our favorite part about Binghamton was overall. So we'll jump around. Everybody can do their answer on that. Chris, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I think my favorite part of Binghamton is kind of that diversity and opportunity that it provides. So like a lot of our students are super, super involved because there's just so much to do here. So between, clubs and classes and, events in the community and events that the university puts on, there's always something going on to kind of go and satisfy your interests. So being able to have all those kind of opportunities is, I think, my favorite part.
Thank you. Megan?
Okay, I have two favorite parts. My first favorite part is definitely the people that I've met from being at Binghamton. I have made so many amazing lifelong friends and met so many amazing people, professors, peers. One of my favorite people, his name is William. He works at the Starbucks truck on campus. My absolute favorite person I met, one of my absolute favorite people I've met at Binghamton. He just brightens my day every single morning. But that's definitely one of my favorite parts. And then my second favorite part is has to do with more of like the school, is like how collaborative Binghamton is for still being such a high-level institution. When it comes to high-level institutions and obviously like rigorous colleges, they can tend to be pretty competitive. And I know that a lot of my friends have said that, but I feel like not at Binghamton, not other schools, but everybody I've met at Binghamton has been so supportive and collaborative and like wanting you to do better and succeed like with each other than like cutthroat. And I think that that's something that is so specific for us that I just absolutely love about the school. When it comes to like hard tests or test week and stuff like that, I always feel definitely more supported by everyone around me than anything else, which is great.
Okay, I guess I will go as the last one. I think that my favorite thing about Binghamton is just also the diversity, a little bit of what Chris was saying, just that you're able to do everything that you want to at Binghamton. So if you're somebody that has a million different interests and you want to be the president of a sorority, but also perform in the productions, but also join an engineering club, you can do all of that at Binghamton. And I haven't found that at many other schools where you can kind of have your hand in everything that you want to. I have a ton of different interests. I'm involved in a couple of different clubs on campus, and I've never felt limited or like I had to choose one over the other. So I would say, and also what Megan said about it's not competitive here at all. You can do everything and everybody will support you in doing everything. And that's what I really like about Binghamton.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. You guys did awesome. I think that was a really good kind of last question to end on. I'm going to talk a little bit about, because as I was watching the questions come in, there were some questions about changing from one school to the other once you're here, as well as some transfer housing questions and transfer overall. So I just want to touch on those briefly, and then I'm going to ask my tour guides one last question, and then we're going to log off. And before we do so, I'll give you those kind of last contacts for all of our professional staff. Okay, so many of you were asking, you know, I got into Harper or I got into School of Management, and I want to know what's the process between moving from Harper to engineering or from School of Management to Harper. We do have an intra-university transfer process. We call it an IUT. The first thing you should know about this is it is not a guaranteed process. You will have a lot of people to help you advising in both the school that you are currently in and the school that you want to go to help make sure you're successful in doing that. And students are successful in going from one school to the other, but it's not guaranteed just because there are only so many seats in each schools, especially the professional school. So it may not be possible for all students to make that switch, but we do have people to help you. We know students change their mind all the time, so that's why that option is there. So definitely look into that when you are a student here. Talk to your advisors if you know that's something that you want to do. The earlier you talk to them, the more likely you're able to kind of be on the right path to make those changes. As for transfers, we are a very transfer-friendly institution. I was a transfer myself. I went to 2 other schools before I came to Binghamton. I kind of found my home here. We have a lot of really nice support and resources for our transfer students. Excuse me. From transfer-only dorms to a transfer student resource center to a transfer club, a lot of transfer programming, transfer-only classes. We do our best to really make sure that all students, no matter if you come in as a first year or as a transfer, you're well taken care of and supportive and feel like you have a community here. Housing for transfers, you can live in any of our communities, whatever is available. You can just live, you say you want to live in Dickinson, go ahead if there's something available. We also have our transfer only floors. That's what I decided to live on for my first semester at Binghamton. So it was a full floor in College in the Woods of transfer students. So we were all kind of different ages from different backgrounds, all kind of in the same boat, which was really nice. Our resident assistant was also a transfer, so she really helped us kind of acclimate to campus. In addition, transfer students are able to live off campus if they wish. They don't have to live on campus for their first year. And they can also choose to live in our apartment communities on campus, Susquehanna and Hillside apartments. So lots of different options for students. Those who choose to live off campus, either as a transfer or a second year student or beyond, we do have a really nice off-campus community college as well, off-campus college, we call it. So you have a nice community there helping you find housing and things like that. Okay, so the last question that I want to give to our tour guides is some really nice helpful advice for our incoming students. So if you had to say what is the one piece of advice that you would give to an incoming student, what would that be?
I would say put yourself out there. Binghamton has so many different types of things that you can do, and you can really find anything that you are interested in. If you have a really, really niche interest, chances are that you can find it on campus, or you can find other people that would want to start a club or an extracurricular that has that. But the only way that you could do that is to put yourself out there and get your name out there, introduce yourself to people, go knock on people's doors when you get to campus, when you move on campus, say hi to your resident assistant and all that stuff, and introduce yourself to your professors after the first day of classes. It's really, really great just to put yourself out there, introduce yourself, say hi. And I would say that that is my one piece of advice that I would do.
Okay, I'll go next. I think that I guess my one piece of advice would just be, other than what Kelsey said, which is also great, to be yourself. Going to college is can be really stressful for some people, and getting there, making friends, meeting all these new people, getting involved, that can be hard. And I think it's really important to remember that just be yourself, and just remember that people are there to meet other people too, and everyone else is in the same boat as you. Everyone else is just as nervous, just as excited, just as ready, just as whatever. So just make sure that you be yourself with that, which is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll kind of echo their 2 points because they spoke similarly what I had in mind. But I would say the biggest piece of advice would be to get involved. College is one of the only times in your life where you're going to have as many opportunities before you as you do right now. So definitely putting yourself out there, taking it step by step, because yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at times, but just making sure that you are, applying yourself, going and seeking out your interests. That I think is going to be the most rewarding thing that you can do throughout your college experience. So definitely don't be shy, and make the most of it.
Definitely.
Anything else for our tour guide? Sam, did you want to weigh in?
I think everybody had a really good answer with that. I mean, there's getting involved, of course, and making friends. I know that I'm still friends with the people that I lived with freshman year, and it's just really nice.
Awesome. I think one thing that I would say is make sure you're asking questions. For me, being a transfer, I kind of had this mindset that I knew what was available to me and what wasn't available to me. For example, study abroad, I thought I wouldn't be able to do it as a transfer. Being in this position, I can tell you I totally could have. So make sure you're asking questions. Exhaust all opportunities before you decide that it's not possible. We have so many people able to help you, from our professional staff to our peer advisors to resources and offices. There's so many people that want to make sure that you get what you need out of your college experience and make sure that you're successful. Okay, so with that, I think we're going to go off now offline, but we just really want to say thank you for all of you tuning in. Thanks so much. We're all really thinking of you during this time, and we wish you the very best of luck, and we hope to see you here in the fall. Anybody else want to say last closing words?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks so much. We hope you have a great day. Thanks.